North Korea shocked the world once again on October 10, 2025. During a massive military parade in Pyongyang celebrating the 80th anniversary of the Workers' Party, the regime unveiled its newest intercontinental ballistic missile, the Hwasong-20. According to Reuters and Airspace-Review, the Hwasong-20 was introduced as the most powerful strategic nuclear system ever developed by North Korea. The missile is claimed to have intercontinental range, capable of reaching the U.S. mainland and carrying multiple nuclear warheads, a direct challenge to the balance of global deterrence. The parade was attended by Jong Un himself, alongside senior foreign guests including China's Premier Li Qiang, Russia's former president Dmitry Medvedev, and Vietnamese leader To Lam. Reuters described their presence as a diplomatic signal, a show of support for Pyongyang amid mounting Western sanctions and isolation. But this display did not come out of nowhere. Back on September 8, 2025, North Korea announced the successful completion of its final ground test for a new solid-fuel rocket engine made of carbon-composite materials. AP News reported that Jong Un personally oversaw the test, which generated a thrust of about 1,971 kilonewtons. The solid fuel system is a major leap from the country's previous liquid fuel models. It allows faster launch readiness, easier mobility, and far greater survivability against preemptive strikes. Then came the parade. The Hwasong-20 was mounted on an 11-axle transporter erector launcher (TEL), surrounded by new hypersonic missiles, long-range cruise missiles, heavy rocket launchers, combat drones, and the Chonma-20 main battle tank. Reuters noted that this was not a symbolic show, but a calculated demonstration of strategic readiness. Still, many analysts doubt that the Hwasong-20 on display is fully operational. High-resolution images suggest that it may be a prototype or mock-up, as no verified long-range flight test has been observed. Yet for Pyongyang, even ambiguity can be a weapon. By simply making the world guess, North Korea strengthens its image of unpredictability, something that every superpower quietly fears. In geopolitical terms, the move is highly deliberate. For Jong Un, nuclear and long-range missile capabilities are not merely prestige projects, they are regime insurance. As long as he possesses a credible deterrent, he ensures survival against sanctions, blockades, or external military pressure. Meanwhile, Russia and China's presence was not coincidental. Moscow is believed to be providing technological assistance to North Korea in exchange for military cooperation and supplies linked to the Ukraine war. Beijing, while publicly cautious, signaled tolerance by sending its prime minister a quiet message that China will not isolate North Korea as long as the tension stays below open conflict. For the West, this event marked a serious escalation. If North Korea's claim is even partially true that the Hwasong-20 can carry MIRV warheads and reach the continental United States, the implications for global defense strategy are enormous. NATO and the US would have to accelerate interceptor programs, satellite radar systems, and next-generation missile shields. Japan and South Korea, standing closest to the threat, will likely tighten their trilateral military coordination with Washington and deploy additional anti-missile systems such as THAAD, Aegis, and Patriot batteries. From a technical standpoint, the data so far suggests the following. The Hwasong-20 is classified as a solid-fuel ICBM still under development. The engine, made of carbon-composite materials, reportedly produces a thrust of around 1,971 kilonewtons, according to AP and Al Jazeera. The missile's mobility is provided by its massive 11-axle TEL launcher, making detection and tracking extremely difficult. North Korea claims it can carry multiple independently targetable re-entry vehicles, or MIRVs, meaning one missile could release several nuclear warheads over different targets. If proven true, that would severely strain any missile defense network. However, the greatest doubts lie in the missile's guidance accuracy, thermal shielding during atmospheric re-entry, and overall reliability in live conditions. So far, no independent verification of a full-range flight test has been reported. Beyond the missile, the parade also showcased progress in the Korean People's Navy. In 2025, Pyongyang launched the Choyeon-class destroyer equipped with vertical launch systems and a phased-array radar, a new level of maritime capability for the regime. A second destroyer, the Kang-kun, had initially capsized during its launch in May 2025, sparking Kim Jong-un's public fury. Wikipedia and Reuters note that the ship was later refloated, repaired, and successfully launched again in June 2025. These naval programs indicate that North Korea is no longer focused solely on land-based deterrent. It is expanding into a blue water, long-range strategy. The parade, then, is more than a celebration. It is a multi-layered signal. At the domestic level, it strengthens Kim's image as a leader of an unstoppable military power. At the diplomatic level, it pressures adversaries by reminding them that North Korea cannot simply be ignored. And at the strategic level, it reassures allies like Russia and China that Pyongyang remains a reliable partner in resisting Western dominance. The potential consequences are wide-ranging. If the Hwasong-20 is real and eventually flight-tested, it could mark a new era of deterrence, forcing Washington and his allies to reconsider how they manage global nuclear escalation. If it's a bluff, then it's still an effective one, because uncertainty itself has value in modern deterrence. In either case, this new display cements North Korea's status as a permanent wildcard in international security. NATO and Europe will adjust their budgets. Japan and South Korea will expand their military cooperation. Russia will exploit the tension to justify its own rearmament. And China, as always, will quietly balance between control and chaos. The night sky over Pyongyang glittered with fireworks, but behind that glow lies the same shadow that has haunted the modern world for decades, the balance of fear. If you see this conflict as more than just a war between nations, it's because the world in truth has never really been at peace. If you see this conflict as more than just a war between nations, it's because the world in truth has never really been at peace. Every missile launched, every parade of power, and every political handshake is part of a larger struggle, not just for dominance, but for survival. And as the line between deterrence and destruction grows thinner, one mistake, one miscalculation could change the course of history. Stay aware, stay critical, because in a world like this, understanding power is the only real defense we have.